An old church. A dark ritual. And a blood moon that awakens the forgotten. Let's begin the horror. In the heart of a quiet, fog-covered village stood an ancient church centuries old, with its stone walls cracked and its wooden doors rotting. The villagers no longer visited, and most avoided even walking near it. What was once a place of peace and prayer had become a symbol of unspoken fear. Old tales whispered from one generation to another said the church was shut down after a series of mysterious deaths occurred inside its walls. Strange symbols were found carved behind the altar. Priests vanished. Choirs disbanded overnight. Over time, the townsfolk stopped asking questions. But deep in the town records, long buried and ignored, were mentions of midnight sermons that didn't follow any religion, a broken bar and references to a red ritual conducted under the blood moon. Now, the church just sits there, forgotten by the world but still watching, waiting for something. Or someone. To return. One cold evening, just days before the next blood moon, a stranger arrived in the village. He introduced himself as Elias Ward, a historian researching forgotten religious sites. With an old leather journal and a camera, he seemed harmless, curious at best, but the villagers didn't welcome outsiders easily, especially ones asking about the old church. When Elias questioned the locals, most went silent, some walked away, and one elderly man warned, "Don't go near that place during the red moon, it doesn't forgive twice." Elias was undeterred. That night, he stayed at the small inn, flipping through his journal. Inside were sketches of symbols, ritual patterns, and a faded map marking the church with one chilling note beneath it: greater than final ritual failed, one survived. Something wasn't right, and Elias wasn't just any historian. He had a personal reason for coming. His grandfather was the last known priest of that cursed church. Now, with the blood moon rising again, Elias believed he had to uncover what really happened that night decades ago, even if it meant stepping into the shadows his family left behind. The night of the blood moon arrived. The sky turned a deep crimson, casting an eerie glow over the village. While most villagers locked their doors and whispered prayers, Elias Ward stood at the edge of the forest, staring at the overgrown path leading to the abandoned church. With only a lantern and his grandfather's journal in hand, Elias stepped into the woods. The closer he got, the heavier the air felt, thick with silence, like even the trees were holding their breath. The church, hidden under layers of vines and decay, loomed like a forgotten tomb. Its broken stained glass windows reflected the red moonlight, making it look like the building itself was bleeding. Inside, dust filled the air, wooden pews lay shattered, and old symbols were carved deep into the walls, matching those in Elias's journal. Then he found the trapdoor, just as the journal described. Beneath the altar, it creaked open to reveal a dark staircase spiraling down into the earth. Elias descended. The deeper he went, the colder it became. The walls below were covered in ancient runes and dried blood. At the bottom, he reached a hidden chamber, a ritual room with a stone table in the center. Around it, 6 robed skeletons, frozen in a circle, hands still reaching out. Then he saw a mirror, cracked but still intact. As Elias approached it, he didn't see his reflection. But instead, his grandfather, chanting in a language not of this world. Something had been waiting in that mirror, something that remembered the failed ritual. And it was not finished. As Elias stared into the cracked mirror, his grandfather's reflection began to move, chanting in that same cryptic, ancient tongue. The room around him responded as the torches on the walls lit themselves with blue flame. The air trembled, and a low hum vibrated through the floor. Suddenly, the skeletons seated around the stone altar began to twitch. Their bones shifted and cracked, as if stirred by an invisible force. One by one, they raised their heads, hollow eye sockets glowing faint red under the blood moon's influence. Elias stepped back in horror. The journal slipped from his hand and landed open to the final page. Greater than the ritual was never completed. If awakened again, it will seek a vessel of blood. That's when he realized he was the vessel. The chamber began to rumble. The mirror shimmered, and a dark, smoky entity began to leak out from its edges. It whispered Elias's name in voices layered with pain, rage, and hunger. This wasn't just a memory as the ritual was reactivating. Elias tried to escape, running back toward the staircase, but it had vanished. In its place was a wall of stone, ancient and unbreakable. The mirror pulsed behind him, and the shadows began to move, crawling across the chamber walls like living tendrils. From deep within the chamber, a circle of blood began to glow. The ritual had chosen Elias. Whether he believed in it or not no longer mattered, as the entity moved closer, and the blood moon reached its highest point in the sky. Elias's scream was drowned out by the echo of voices long buried. The ritual was complete, but something new had been unleashed. Some secrets are meant to stay buried, but what happens when the blood moon rises again? If this story gave you chills, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more terrifying tales every day. Turn on the bell so you don't miss the next dark mystery waiting for you in the shadows.